Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It's Friday, March 7th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
What makes an effective team? Who can give me some ideas of what makes an effective team?
Grade 7 students at Morinville's Four Winds School are quizzed on teamwork and then put to the test. Split into groups and given the task of protecting an egg with materials provided. Do they make a plan before taking action? Do they listen to each other's ideas? Questions the educational facilitator of this course will ask them after their defenses are tested.
Okay, do you want to check it? 3, 2, 1.
That didn't sound bad at all.
That didn't sound bad at all.
A simple exercise in teamwork that educators hope will prepare these students for other challenges in life.
Whether that's finding their first job, having a relationship, or volunteering, we just want to give them a lot of tools so they can find success.
Yeah! This is the Inspire program, a twice-a-week class. The program started with girls 3 years ago and expanded to boys this school year.
Boys have just as many problems as girls, especially when it comes around regulating emotion, understanding their emotions.
Sarah Hall works at the Jessica Martel Memorial Foundation, which supports domestic violence survivors. Recognizing abuse is learned behavior. The foundation worked with this school to develop a preventative program for youth.
When we're younger, a lot of us aren't learning about boundaries. We're not learning what a healthy relationship looks like. Those things are modeled, in our own homes, and a lot of times they're in silos.
From discussing body image and internet safety to identifying one's core values and sharing with peers, Hall says the class serves as a safe space for students who, in adolescence, are navigating a challenging time.
Some of the problem is us parents, or there's maybe an unrealistic expectation that these things are being taught in the schools organically in the classroom. But that's unrealistic to expect any teacher to do. So giving all kids an opportunity to have a mentor outside of the regular circle can really be a game changer.
Hall says among Inspire students, she has personally seen improvements in attendance and boosts in confidence.
At the beginning, for example, we had one girl who never took off her headphones. About 2 months in, she would start taking her hood down, be sitting up straighter, paying attention. She would have her headphones on but have one off. And then by the end of the class, she didn't even bring her headphones.
The Family Center in Edmonton provides counseling and classes to people looking to better tumultuous relationships. One is a 16-week men's group that is sometimes mandated through court or children's services.
Very often, the guys have come from their parents having that kind of relationship. I think a lot of them come with a sense of this is what a relationship looks like, and maybe has never ever seen a relationship that's been different than that.
Mark Frederick ran the men's group for several years. While early intervention is ideal, he says he's seen many have success later in life.
Part of it is not feeling that they're alone in having these problems. Even if you feel that 99% of the problem is your partner, we're here to focus on the 1% that is yours that you can claim.
The Family Center offers drop-in counseling, same-day bookings, and subsidized services for low-income Albertans.
Guys, give yourselves a round of applause. You guys did a really good job today.
The Inspire program is being paid for through a one-time provincial grant. Those behind it are tracking its successes, hoping to prove it's worth investing in the years to come.
It's all about prevention because it's a whole lot more expensive and exhausting when you're trying to save people after the damage has been done.
Officials at the Jessica Martel Memorial Foundation say if provincial funding isn't renewed past next year, it will rely on community fundraising to continue.
3-year-old Maui is an athlete. This dog slalom is very speedy in competition, but can lead to aches and injuries. At the Liesse Animal Clinic, Maui does a slow slalom, so Dr. Sophia Skoulikis can see where it hurts.
Either they're panting because they're in pain, they're not acting themselves, or it's been a chronic condition where they've stopped jumping on couches, stopped jumping into the car.
Under the guidance of Ellen Quiroz, veterinarian graduate and rehabilitation specialist for cats and dogs, Maui does physical exercises to strengthen his muscles, plus massage therapy and even a laser light treatment.
It's decreasing pain, and it also helps them regain the strength in their muscle and just helps with their overall function.
Not quite an athlete anymore. 13-year-old Cinders, the cat, also gets sore. He has severe arthritis in his hips and gets acupuncture for it here. Dr. Chantal Coutu has a special certification to do the treatment, one that Cinders usually sleeps through.
For chronic conditions, especially with like arthritis or after injuries, whether they're muscular or joint, so after like orthopedic surgeries as well.
It stimulates receptors, nerve endings, the brain, also increases blood flow to that area.
Appraisal appointment costs about $120, and the price drops with subsequent treatments.
It can take a couple of weeks to see those benefits, so patience at the beginning is ideal, but we do see positive feedback from everyone.
Maui is back in the game, and Cinders seems to be experiencing less pain.
He's playing more now. He jumps up on the cat tree. He runs away from my kids.
Alternative therapies so they can get back to acting like a bunch of animals.
The happiness and the quality of life of the pet, which is a member of the family.
Christine Long, CTV News.
Hafsa Mohammed has been volunteering at the Ronald McDonald Family Room in Moncton since December, and already it's made a huge impact.
This is one of the only places where all sorts of people come together and share space and live together and take care of each other, and it feels like a family.
A quiet space for nutritious meals, games, and comfort that can't always be found at a hospital for families with patients under 18 years old. But it's not as simple as just leaving the door open.
I think that we would be looking at probably another 30 to 40 volunteers a week for the Moncton area.
Volunteers make the space possible 7 days a week at the Moncton Hospital.
I'm the only volunteer here this morning, and I regularly pick up shifts on the weekends or evenings so that the family room can stay open.
Without them, the family room is only available during regular staff hours, but it's a space that families rely on.
In 2024, looking at that data, we would have supported over 760 families through the Moncton Family Room. When you look at our programs overall, including the Ronald McDonald House in Halifax, about half of the families we serve are from New Brunswick.
There are 3 volunteer shifts a day, and they can involve anything from making fresh bread, helping families find resources, to just being an ear to listen.
A lot of families don't have the privilege to go home and get that shower, to get that meal, to have just a place to really get a cozy couch to relax in. And this space really provides respite for people who are far away from home.
Plus, she says it's a fulfilling role.
There is so much that you can get from it. I leave every shift, like I said, feeling like I gain more than I could give back.
Those interested in volunteering can reach out directly to the organization. Officials say right now there's gaps in both Moncton and Halifax, providing lots of opportunities to make a difference. Alana Pickrell, CTV News, Moncton.
Her career as an artist started in 2021, and Jean Parker's new collection is inspired by her daughter Molly. Between the ages of 3 until her late teens, Molly was training and competing, and her mom spent thousands of hours by her side.
So I kind of broke apart this concept, the dancer. What is a dancer? And I saw that there's this duality to it. It's strength and grace. So strength is the training, like an elite athlete, right?
And Parker says a dancer's artistic abilities combine to make the moves look effortless and graceful.
I love everything about movement and change, but ultimately what I love the most is my daughter. So this is kind of an honor to the world of dance and to her.
Molly lives and works in Ontario now, but has seen the entire collection.
So many of those paintings that I actually remember vividly. A lot of them are from my high school years and even my university years, and I can still remember the moment that I was on stage doing that move and the intensity and the emotion that I was feeling, that my mom has she's done such a good job of capturing them in all of her paintings.
And of all the paintings, this is her favorite, at a time when she was dancing ballet.
It's a picture of me on point in a pose called arabesque. That's the ballet term for it. And it's just, it captures me just surrendering to the moment of dance, and I think it's just beautifully done.
Kim Webb is the creative wellness director at Canopy Studios and can relate to the paintings because she spent time dancing when she was younger.
Yeah, I think it's just a sense of freedom, and Jean's captured that sense and that emotion in all her pieces.
Molly told her mom that she would like 3 of the paintings for her home one day. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Some of the best musical acts Canada has to offer are coming to the Ottawa Valley. Guitars and Gasoline, a brand new country and rock music festival on track to hit the Calabogie Motorsports Park this June.
40th anniversary of Blue Rodeo, and they're going to be here celebrating that with everybody. Saturday, June 7th, we have a local act out of Kingston, Alexa Goldie, followed by the Headstones, Theory of a Dead Man, and the hottest country guy in Canada right now, Josh Ross.
From the lineup to sponsors and vendors, the organizers say they're proud to have put together an entirely Canadian music festival, proving particularly timely, even if it wasn't initially planned that way.
We feel we have a really good made in Canada acts coming in. As the dollar started getting worse, we decided to just make it an all Canadian festival for our first year.
Over the 3-day festival, organizers expect to welcome up to 15,000 people.
I think it's going to offer a really unique experience. You've got camping around all of our sort of runoff areas in the track, which is a really unique setup rather than just sort of in an empty field kind of thing. There'll be lots of interesting things to do. We're going to have some hospitality areas near where a lot of the camping sites are.
This brand new music festival is also expected to have a huge economic impact on the community, bringing in an anticipated $2.6 million to the region.
Well, number one, it also puts us on the map more. So more people are going to hear about the area and understand all of the other great attributes we have.
I think it's great. It's going to bring a ton of people into our community, and lots of different establishments. We'll get lots more patrons coming through, and it'll be a good time.
Single-day ticket prices start at $85 Canadian.
Tickets are on sale now. We've got some really good early bird pricing right now with up to 15% off all the tickets, and that's going to be limited for a couple weeks. And they're on sale now at guitarsandgasoline.com.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News, Calabogie.
At Legacy Mechanical Services, furry friends in need have become office companions for people on the job.
First, we found the kitten that was beside a dumpster on Ellis Avenue. She was left there overnight. One of our techs went to an on-call for a no heat call, and he heard her screaming and went and picked her up and found her and brought her into the office the next day.
Gizmo the cat isn't the only animal that was recently rescued. A 9-week-old puppy has also joined the Legacy family.
This is Cowie. She was found last Friday beside a dumpster. She's been now adopted by our refrigeration lead, and she's loving it.
Over the past year, Cowie and Gizmo have joined 5 other animals rescued by the team. All have now become pets for different staff members. While Downey enjoys the extra company, she's worried about the fate of strays.
When I took the puppy to the vet last weekend, there was another lady who was bringing in a dog that was found running along the road. So you're finding them anywhere now.
At the Winnipeg Humane Society, the organization remains at capacity for cats and dogs ahead of spring. Staff members say there are several reasons why they continue to see pet owners surrender their pets.
People get ill and can no longer, change a litter box or take a dog for a walk, things like that. The cost of food, the cost of vet care.
Back at Legacy, Downey says animals deserve better than to be left outside. She's encouraging other pet owners to seek help if they are struggling to make ends meet.
I'm a single parent. It's tough. I have 7 animals at home. Nobody wants to see an animal abandoned. Nobody wants to see an animal treated badly.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Treaty Elders of Saskatchewan, a collection of oral histories, traditions, and wisdom about the treaties as told by elders from the 5 treaty territories, was published in 2000. It's become a valuable resource on the relationship between First Nations and Canada.
The main vision from Treaty Elders of Saskatchewan is that
Their dream is that one day our people will clearly be recognized as nations.
Walker says the authors and subjects of the book set out a number of doctrines meant to inform what it is to be a nation.
And these are doctrines that the rest of us who read the book, learn about the doctrines, we're intended to breathe life into those, to carry forward the teachings.
Community leaders gathered in Saskatoon to celebrate the book's 25th anniversary and to celebrate the birthday of the only living person interviewed for the book. Elder Jacob Bill was 76 when he was interviewed, and he turns 101 on Friday.
It's individuals like Jacob that has helped many of us to learn the understanding of treaty, of who we are as First Nation people, of who we are as Nehiawak.
While he couldn't make it to the celebration in Saskatoon today, Jacob's daughter, Lorraine Bill, shared a song passed down from her father. She says it was a gift to have been raised in a traditional environment, and she's proud to pass that on to the next generation.
Yes, pretty much, because that's the way I was raised, and that's the way I want my children to grow up in that environment, the way I was brought up.
John Flatters, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Paula Trefiak was just 34 and newly diagnosed with ALS when she was enrolled in a clinical trial for a new drug, tofersen or Qalsody, in 2016.
I was on the lowest dose of 20 milligrams, so I still felt like I was deteriorating during that clinical trial.
But fortunately, she was early in her disease progression and was soon able to take a higher dose.
The drug is administered into the cerebrospinal fluid through a spinal tap, and the drug has shown to significantly reduce a toxic protein called SOD1, occurring in 2% of ALS patients.
Those 2% are a subgroup of the ALS patients who have a genetic cause for their illness. 90% of patients with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis are sporadic cases.
This drug has been in development for about 10 years, and Sunnybrook, along with other Canadian centres, have been part of an international collaboration to determine if gene therapy can work for patients with SOD1 ALS.
For SOD1 patients, the improvements can be astounding.
I wasn't getting the muscle cramping that I used to. And then I also felt stronger. Like I could go up on my toes and my heels weren't crashing down anymore. I had a lot of lip droop and I was slurring my speech quite a bit. That's gone.
And the implications for those carrying the gene but not yet showing symptoms is also huge. A study is currently underway to see if giving Qalsody might help.
That study is called Atlas, and it's underway to prove if this gene therapy will prevent the ALS from ever even coming up in these patients.
Canadians who know they have the SOD1 mutation should go to their local ALS center to find out more about participating in the Atlas study. Meanwhile, coverage for the drug is still being worked out.
Definitely fewer than 2 years is what we hope for, but we do know that there are therapies that have been approved by Health Canada that never were able to get through that pathway after 10 years. And that is definitely what we don't want to see for our community.
The number of patients is small, only a few dozen in Canada, but it is a costly medication given once a month. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Being without shelter in Saskatchewan is a very real and dangerous reality. 2 University of Regina students are spending 5 days and nights outside to shed some light on the issue.
It's really hard to sleep at all, to be honest, and it's definitely a challenge, and it definitely opens my eyes to what people are experiencing in much rougher times of the year.
The 5 Days for the Homeless fundraiser is a nationwide campaign, which the Hill Business Student Society has been participating in for 15 years as a way to raise funds and awareness for Carmichael outreach.
Everybody is seeing this right now as a crisis, and we need to address it. And what better way to address it than having students sit out in front of the university where they're seeing thousands upon thousands of people.
These students are completely reliant on donations when it comes to keeping warm in the evening.
The first day we had no physical donations, so sleeping was impossible. We were sleeping in snow that was melting because of our body heat and then seeping into our clothes and then freezing again. So it was absolutely impossible to sleep without having any physical donations like sleeping bags or blankets.
While the chilly temperatures certainly provide many challenges, these volunteers say the social aspect has been eye-opening.
It feels very isolating when you're alone out here and people walking by and maybe not having conversations. That is definitely one of the toughest parts.
They don't want to say hi. It's weird. They treat you kind of like a ghost and that you don't actually exist. And when you're alone, it's just a strange feeling having to sit there and watch everyone walk right on by and not really care.
For these two students, returning home at the end of the 5 days is something they won't be taking for granted.
There's a lot of people in Regina that don't get to do that, and they do this every day. This is their life. They experience this on a regular basis, and they deal with these challenges every day.
We can imagine what it's like to sleep outside in -30 without things, but you don't know what it's like until you're actually doing it. So I think just getting that first-hand experience is really eye-opening.
The Hill VSS has been hosting additional events throughout the week, all in the hopes of hitting their $25,000 fundraising goal. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Regina.
This massive state-of-the-art facility is called White Owl Film Studios, and it recently opened on the Wanapitei First Nation. It offers 20,000 square feet of clear-span studio space with 64-foot ceilings.
White Owl Studios is the largest Indigenous-led studio in Canada. It's a key piece of infrastructure that's been a long time coming for Sudbury, and it allows us the ability to shoot during the wintertime. It allows us the ability to cater now to a larger series.
It's built like this for a different sound and to have an open area, so when productions come in, there's nothing hindering them from building whatever they want.
Partners in the studio say they wanted to give back to the community by building the large state-of-the-art studio on the Wanapitei First Nation and investing in the future of filmmaking in Canada.
In a lot of our First Nations communities, we have gas stations, cannabis stores, cigarette stores, different things like that. But to have sustainable business with different educational things that are required, I feel that that'll really help our future generations to want to go to school to learn more.
Officials with White Owl Film Studios say it's ready to cater to films and television series while supporting local young creatives starting out, and that it's a real alternative to traditional urban production centers. Elena Everson, Wanapitei First Nation.
In the morning sun.
Ever since DJ Jackson started singing as a kid with his friends,
But we'd be on the corner just humming and, moving and grooving.
he's had 3 big dreams.
All I wanted to be was a cowboy, a singer, and a fireman.
But he never would be, DJ was told while growing up in the southern states, because of the color of his skin.
Look like nothing's gonna come my way.
But DJ was determined, got a job sweeping floors to pay for a firefighting course, and did so well, the department had to hire him as a trainee.
They treated me bad. They called me all kinds of names and stuff, but I thought, nobody's gonna ever break me.
Eventually, the prejudiced people left, and DJ earned a full-time position, which led to an historic headline in the local paper.
And I fell in love with it, man. I thought, this is it. This is my life.
But that was just one dream realized.
I left my home in Washington.
During a vacation in Vancouver, DJ experienced so many random acts of kindness, he called his mom.
And guess what? Nobody called me today or shot at me. And she said, what? I said, and guess what, Mama? I'm staying.
Eventually, DJ did move to Canada permanently, where he achieved his other dreams of becoming a cowboy for a bit and touring as a singer for even longer.
I'm sitting on the dock of a bay.
But DJ wasn't into wasting time and started pursuing a 4th dream.
Christopher Reeves.
DJ's walls are filled with photos from the almost 180 movie and TV shows he's appeared in, along with many of the major stars he's worked with, from Adam Sandler to John Travolta.
My pride and joy. I spent 3 days with the champ, Muhammad Ali, and he taught me strength.
But if you ask Joshua who inspired him to never give up on his dreams,
Mother,
he'll point to a picture of his mom.
She said, you just be you and treat everybody the same, and your day will come.
Because Because if you can keep singing through the low notes of life, just imagine how wonderful it will feel when you nail every single high one.
Still got it.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Burnaby.